Now, I'm going to make this video short and straightforward. For those of you that are not familiar with REBUKE, he has a channel that is known for exposing false prophets, false teachers, and other doctrine errors. I have agreed with many of the things that have been said by Drew, and have supported his channel for several years. In fact, it took a long time for me to even decide if I wanted to expose Marcus or not because of Drew's support of him. But obviously, I ended up exposing Marcus, which I'm glad that I did because it was way more important to point out the serious issues about Marcus. Those clips about Marcus was taken from past and present tense of all of his vile behaviors.
I'm going to find me a teacher that tells me it's okay to keep pictures of men's private parts on my phone. They're going to encourage me in that. Like Renee and like Barry. They're going to tell me it's okay that you put man's private parts in your mouth. That you put man's private parts in your mouth.
Just pray this one-time prayer. Try to get Jesus in the sack. Try to get Jesus in the sack, so to speak. And then go run and live your life for the devil.
So after me uploading those videos about Marcus, I thought for sure that Drew would take pause about Marcus and no longer promote him on his channel until Marcus was in a place to take leadership responsibilities, which would not be an overnight process. But no, Drew instead promotes Marcus even further by having him as a guest on his recent live stream.
We've got Marcus with us tonight from Findtruth88. So thanks for being here.
Oh, you bet.
Awesome. Yeah. By the grace of God, we're able to get together. Let me make sure I'm muted here. And come together and talk about some things having to do with ministry, having to do with what we do. And that would more than likely be combating false prophets.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Very important for the time we're living in.
But Marcus was coming through town, and I asked him to stop by to say hi and to see if he'd join me tonight, because there's real fellowship in true Christians who stand together. Obviously, we have common interest.
Yes.
There was another individual who said, "Oh, well, how repulsive of you to use that terminology of a whore and spreading their legs and unzipping their pants and things like that."
Okay, so Marcus, obviously, for those that don't know, he's at Findtruth88 is his channel, and he does a lot of exposure videos and teachings on the gospel, but also does a lot of exposing the false prophets. And that's something, obviously, if you're watching me, you know that I do. So it's something that we're called to do, not necessarily the funnest thing to do.
No.
I know that Drew is well aware of my videos concerning Marcus. I had also thought that Drew would advise Marcus to step away from leadership for a time, and that Drew would just privately minister to Marcus as a man of God. The church has fallen so far that they haven't even realized that they hit bottom. Where are the true men of God that stand in truth and in God's word? Why is this being said by a woman when it should be coming from a man?